To bring it back to one, like, there is still the stigma. There is still the stigma. Is that
I
what
think
we're
so. I
saying?
think there's still a stigma.
But would you guys classify as a stigma? Actually, I think it's important to.
Good question. So I think the way I define stigma is just like something is not
Or
as it should be. Like,
it's an unsaid theory,
yeah,
whether it's proven right or wrong, in my opinion, innit? And it's something that rightfully or wrongfully denotes a situation. And I think there is a negative stigma, or there was more of a negative stigma surrounding sort of mental health and therapy within our community. One that I'm glad that we seem to be shifting away from.
yeah. It's not black and white.
It's not black and white, no, absolutely not. But I think progress can also be applauded. I think as a people, as a generation, we are shifting away from that. You're seeing a lot more people take pride in their mental health, talking more openly about the challenges that they're facing, because we're human beings. Like, we need to stop this ridiculous idea that we are robots and we can deal with everything. There's being strong, but I have conversations with a lot of my friends, let's say women, for example, and some of them are tired of being strong. Like, I get tired
Yeah,
of being
I've
strong.
heard that a lot.
Like,
Yeah, especially this year. Like the strong black woman.
I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate that. You're not supposed to. What's all that about? Like the strong black woman, the strong black man. Like, that's not what we're
why is
here
there so
for.
much expected of me? Yeah,
And I think the strength, don't get me wrong, it can be a plus and it can be a positive in certain moments. But I think when it gets to a point where that's your unofficial definition, I think that's where we have a problem. But yeah, in terms of the stigma, I'm just happy that we are shifting away from that. So much people are doing active things to ensure that they're in a good state mentally as well as physically. I think a point that I really wanted to hone in on is on Pioneer Space, the podcast, what we do, it's about benefiting other people as well, right? It's about sharpening other people's iron while we sharpen ourselves here. And there is a distinct connection between sort of the black household and positive mindsets and the mental health. I feel like a healthy man is more likely to be an active father. Physically, mentally, you're more likely to be an active father. Now, we're here to dispel a lot of these things that have happened for years and years and years and years. Our generation changes that. If you look after your mental health, your physical health, the chances of you being an active father, which means the chance of your household being a happy household, which then means the chances that you're giving your children to grow up in a healthy household, to become better men, better women, than you're giving them chances. So it's like, for me, there's so much things that unravels once this thing starts improving. And I think it's important to sort of keep those connections there, keep them alive, because it's so easy to think mental health is just about me. No, it's not. How you respond to me if you're healthy affects my day. It affects the way that I look at you.
but I just wanted to touch upon what you spoke about stigma and the household, because yeah, as I reflect on my own experiences, I think about cool. Like I remember me and my siblings expressing to our mum that we're having therapy and she not really understanding it initially, that being a thing, and it's just like, like what's wrong? Like why do you need therapy? Like is prayer not enough? And stuff like that, or like, am I not enough? Can I not do enough for you? And other things, like I feel like being a child, being an adolescent, kind of just coasted through life. And I feel like I coasted through life because I had a support network. You go through school, you go through college, university, you have your siblings around you, you have your parent or your carer. And it wasn't until events like losing my grandmother that was my support network. I'm just like, rah, I'm really by myself now. And then that negatively affected my mental health. That was the driving force behind me getting therapy in the first place. And understanding trauma, it's a concept I never really understood. Or another thing, like opening up to people. You feel like, I felt like I was close to people, friends, siblings, but it took, like I said, until my mid-20s to have certain conversations with my brothers and my sister, have certain conversation with the mandem, the boys, and opening up. So just going back to your point about if your mental health is good, you're more likely to have a better family, better household. I feel like I've learned so many things that's given me tools in my arsenal to like, okay, cool. This is the playing field. These are the struggles. Yeah, going back to strategies, this is what you can do. Let's not perpetuate the same cycle.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you a question, and if you don't want to talk about it, you don't want to talk about it, innit? But you spoke about losing your nan and stuff like that, and the effect that it had on you. How did you sort of come out of that? Did you grow through it? Do you feel like you grew through it? Do you feel like there's things that you could have done a little bit differently?
Yeah, there's things I could have done a bit differently. I definitely could have opened up more to people, people close to me. Did I grow through it? I think I did grow through it. I think initially when something traumatic like that happens, you're thinking, how do I get on the other side? And then the realization that I had was, it's just something you're going to live with. Let's not focus on the negative, but let's try and process it and try and be as positive as possible. But it was tough. I could have dealt with things better, I think.
In what sense, though? What
Like relying on alcohol
Okay.
to feel numb,
Okay.
you know, dealing with the loss of someone that close to you. Yeah, you don't want to be thinking all the time. I didn't want to be thinking all the time. I just wanted to feel normal, quote unquote. But I think the therapy helped.
Okay.
Time is the greatest healer. And I often think about, you know, it's part of life. You're going to lose people close to you. How are you going to deal with that better in future? And I think for me, being a man of God, I'm going to have faith in God. I'm not going to try and rely on things like alcohol to numb the feeling. It's important to feel what you feel. I think that's one of the greatest lessons in the past few years that I've learnt. So, yeah, that's my strategy at the moment.
That's class. I mean, thanks for sharing. Yeah, thank you. It's not easy, but I like how you sort of learnt certain things about yourself during that period. You grew through a difficult and a challenging moment as well, which, yeah, for me, I think that's top, bro. That's top, bro. How about you? Have you had any sort of situations that have sort of, I'd say, forced you to sort of get to know yourself a little bit more? Any sort of life-changing events and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think for me, you know, growing up where we grew up, involved in certain things, I think when I went to prison, I think that kind of was a turning point for me. That was a point where I had to be by myself. I was alone. I actually got time to think. So I think for me, that was like an opportunity for me to like really reflect. Before that, I didn't necessarily spend time with myself. I was always like with a friend, always with around my peers, around my support network. But I think that was a time for me to really get to know myself, understand what my purpose is. I started actually reading the Bible for myself. I actually started to build a relationship with God myself. So I think for me, that was a turning point. That was like a pivotal point in my life. And from there, I just, again, looked at what can I do positively? Like, what can I do? What positive action can I take? What kind of life do I want to live? So yeah, I think for me, that was in terms of, but I don't know if I classify that as mental health. Yeah, it was mental health because obviously I wasn't happy to be in that situation. Do you get what I'm saying? So it forced me to really look at myself. And I think that's an important thing, is really looking at yourself. Because sometimes we're so occupied with living life that we don't actually get to like spend time with ourselves. So I think that really got me to like spend time with myself. Not isolate myself, but then just learn to be alone. You know? Be alone, reflect, and understand, what do I want?
No, it makes sense.
You know? So yeah, I think, and then from there I was able to like turn things around, plan, what do I want to do in my life? I came out, I managed to go back to university that same year.
Class.
Graduated 3 years later, and now it's only been up and up and up. So we thank God.
Congrats.
No,
Congrats,
appreciate
that's
it.
top.
Turning point.